you've been grinding. You built this company, successful company, growing 20% a year, which is amazing. In fact, are you one of the largest pest control companies here, or?
Do you want to be a part of that? Do they want to be a part of that? I started out on credit cards.
Right.
They're starting out with having to know how to spend money.
Right. Totally different.
Spending money was not my issue. I didn't have any money. So real estate's not the play. Dubai's the play. The Visa, the network. 60% down on a property is a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah. That's a lot of cash.
Yep.
But
hey guys, welcome back to the DB Business Blueprint Podcast, man. We back at it again where we teaching people how to grow and scale their business to the next level. Today, we got a special guest right here in Hawaii, John Speed. John Speed, man, how you doing, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Great. Good to see you, man.
Oh, awesome. Good to see you again, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, John, what we do in this podcast, just like our conferences and things like that, really try to teach and give people the tools, the resources of, mindset, what I'm saying? Because, we just, ordinary guys, right? So everybody got their own path, their own story, whatever the case may be. But we really want to, give those nuggets. Because one thing I realized, like, hey, once you become, I used to look at people like successful people. They don't want to be bothered. They ain't gonna help you. They ain't gonna do none of that. But that's all false, right? That's all a myth. We love to help people. I know you got a very, very, very gifted, skilled guy. But I want people to know, that's watching this, give a little bit about who you are, where you're from, how you're able, what is your business and things like that.
Sure. I'm John Speed. Kilauea Pest Control is my business. I've had it for 21 years. 3 kids, lovely wife, and I've been here in Hawaii for about 25 years or so, but born and raised in Texas.
Right.
And went from one very different coast to this beautiful coast in Hawaii. So,
right.
Lovely to be here. But yeah, again, had the business 21 years and have a great team, but it's a slow growth, very slow growth for a lot of years. So,
right.
Yeah, it's taken a while to get.
So it's like you say, like, yes, slow growth. But like, where are you at right now from, 21 years of, being in this business, grinding and all those things. Like, where are you at? How's your business like right now performing? How's, talk about some of the aches and pains and things like that and entrepreneurship. I'm pretty sure you used to have a lot of sleepless nights, what I'm saying? What you want to talk about any of that, or has it just been all peaches and cream, no issues?
Yeah. No, I mean, when I think back to the biggest issues that have come up, funny enough, it's kind of, some customers, some employees, but like, I've heard you talk about, real estate deals,
yes.
LOIs,
Yeah.
things like that,
Right.
Things that I should have been more conscientious of,
Right.
To be honest, we officed out of our house for 13 years,
Oh, wow.
and then we first got in our first place. I knew we were growing and we should have probably not gotten into a 5-year lease, and we did. But when I talked to the people, they're like, oh yeah, you can subcontract the lease, but then they had to approve it, and they never approved anything, and so they knew we had a successful business that we paid, and so it was $80,000 mistake, $80,000
education. That's what we all about. That's
right. That's how and yeah, so for me, that, and between that and my real estate project I'm working on right now, it's like that is not my lane.
Right.
I need to be in business.
Right.
I love business. I love my people.
Right.
I love my teams.
Right.
I'm even loving the processes.
Okay.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Just the nerdy stuff of business, and like, how can you make it seamless to the next 2, 3, 4 levels?
Right.
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 Because as we've been on this trajectory, we grow about 20% a year, and so it's not much when you think about it. But when it gets bigger, 20% is a lot.
Do the math. 20% times 5. That's 100% growth on revenue. Right. So that's
without compounding.
Without compounding. Compounding, without those rates going up, without those inflations going up. So which goes to drive value of your business and things like that. which is great. But you talk about things that, you know, I have heard you always say, your people.
Mm-hmm.
Who's those people? I know who's those people, but who's those people? That's your team, right?
So my team. So basically, so I took a year off about 7 years ago, and when I got back, I had basically I had the business running great, but I had time to really look at like the future and what that looked like. And so, thankfully, we got into EOS,
right,
into some of those again meetings and some the goals and the just documenting things. And that those meetings brought in our top people, and then I've been able to help develop those people, and they're great people to begin with.
Right.
But to get them on and to see the vision of where we're going, and to all be rowing in the same direction.
Right.
And so when you do that, they can then in turn have their people growing their people,
right,
so that they're replacing their stuff, and
right,
they can move up to
the next level,
higher level stuff. And now we're at the point where it's like, okay, well, we're doing these things, and I have Kilauea, but what about my managers?
Right.
What about the other people? Like, what's their exit like?
Right.
And so they're just going to have a job, or I'm going to help, you know, reward these people.
Right.
And we're already a great team. Like, okay, what's the next project that they can be in on that they have some equity
in? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, so could reward good behavior, you know, and have
absolutely
that reinforce itself.
Right.
And so we've got, again, so started off with 5 of us, and then we added a couple people like 3 years ago. And so we have 3 divisional leaders, and then we have marketing, HR, and the adult in the room, a lady that works in our office, is super helpful. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm guessing now that, you know, mostly because all business owners, you know, ain't the same. All right. You're talking about your business, and which I love, because we want to continue. I believe that you should not have a ceiling. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell my guys, they come in, you know, you may be the manager, but I don't believe a ceiling. There's things that I could put that reward you. It's a win-win, where that, you know, maybe, you know, sales increase, you get X, Y, Z, you know, as we continue to grow, I'm going to continue to grow, because I'm going to continue to reinvest that money back into the business, help create more jobs, create more people, create more positionings, so that you can elevate. And have you ever been in a point, because I know I have, right, where that you feel like, you know, I'm doing all these things for this person, and boom, 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 and you giving, and then you just get, they just, you know, like just slapping you in the back of the head, like, you know what, I quit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but you have done all this, but how do you keep on, you know, moving forward? Because I know that have happened. You know what I mean? Because, you know, obviously I'm in my job right now, for me, where I'm at in my business plan, which I just retired from the military, and you know, I built this business on active duty military. You know, built a successful portfolio, but now it's my first year out in the military. My goal is to grow. I want to know how much can I do within in 12 months. Yeah. I always wondering this in the past 12 years when I've been in business. I said, if I wasn't in the military, how much can D really do?
Yeah.
That's why people are looking at me like, yo, what's going on over there? D, like this, you know, we haven't in the first quarter, you got 6, 7, 8 deals already. Why is that? Because I'm challenging myself. I'm in the grind, but you know what I'm saying? And I want to know though, like, you know, have you had or been in positions where that, you know, you trying to, you know, I'm focused on growth and culture of my company. So when I focus on growth and culture, I'm also that culture part is how do I create a great culture through helping people, you know, retirement planning, or like you said, equity, and, you know, promotions, and, you know, all those things like that. But then you think you're doing the right thing, and then it seems like you're like, damn, man, you know, take 2 steps forward, and you think you're doing something right, and then it just, you know, how do you fix that? You know, have that been an issue for you?
Yeah, for sure. And this is scarcity mind thinking. When I started out, you know, you don't have the money, you don't have the bandwidth, you know, because you're doing everything, right? And so my lovely wife, Jenny, she took care of the office for 5 years, you know, had all these great processes in place, turned it over to her sister, did awesome. And then we hired our first office person, right? And so we hired this person. There's a lot of trust. I'm in the field all the time, and things are going. And then it doesn't work out, you know? we find out, things are getting lost in the cracks and people aren't getting paid and phone's not getting answered,
Right.
you know, and you find this out and you're like, okay, we gotta let them go. Okay.
Right.
Whose fault is that? Well, it's my fault.
Right.
Right. Ownership.
Right. Always. Yep.
We had a lady for 2 years. We had another lady for 2 years. Same things. Smile to your face, but then talking about me behind my back to my employees.
Right.
You know? And then that thing blew up after a couple of years, 4 years, you know?
Right.
And so serendipitously, after that, I was like, I will never not have two people in the office. Now, they may both, you know, screw stuff up.
Right.
But I think there's a better chance that, you know, I'm going to invest the money that I don't want to invest. I wanted to hire just one person. I'm going to hire two people.
Right.
Hired two people. Those two ladies that I hired are still with me and are on our management team.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things that, you know, I heard you say that, you know, you've been grinding, you built this company, successful company growing 20% a year, which is amazing. In fact, you know, are you one of the largest, you know, pest control companies here or?
Yeah, we are probably, we're probably up one or two. There's a couple of other companies that are a pretty good size on the local scene.
Right.
I think there's 3 or 4 national companies, and there's one that is like 25% of the marketplace, at least.
Right.
Yeah, 25-30% of the marketplace.
Right.
So aside from them, we're probably one or two.
Right.
But and I would say the other bigger companies all do tenting. They all do tent fumigation. So they have these big crews that go out. So we don't have any crews like that.
Right.
And so I would say for sure, aside from the national company, we are the biggest pest control company as far as coming in doing regular maintenance for ants, roaches, centipedes on people's houses, and then commercial as well. We have a separate commercial division that can go head to head with the national companies.
Awesome. No, man, that's great, and that's a local company here in Hawaii. That's amazing. No, that's great, creating jobs. I just love that. You know, just the entrepreneur. It's just like, you know, I'm like crazy. I'm wired different. Like I don't do it for money. I don't do it for like I do it because I just like it. You know, what I mean, I like the system, I like the challenge, I like the process, I like the things that, you know, keep me going, man. And it's great. But you know, those of you that's watching this, you know, one of the things that John, you know, we talking about. I heard you working in the business, but you went from working in the business to working on the business, where you was able to kind of step out a little bit, set up management teams. Now, I think in business, you know, one of the hardest challenges, and I think it's an art that someone must master it. You know what I mean? As an entrepreneur, because most entrepreneurs start, you know, wearing, you know, 10, 20, 15, sometimes 5 hats if they lucky enough, but they wearing so many hats. You the marketing guy, you this, you trash guy, you paying the bills person or gal or whatever the case may be. But you go from working in the business and you start out as young entrepreneur, you're 20s, you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, whatever the case may be. And, you know, you get in there, you're going, and you like glue. You're keeping everything together. And you get caught up in your business. Yeah. And, you know, one of the things that I teach at the Hawaii Millionaire Mindset Conference is the technique from going from working in your business and putting yourself to work on your business. I would tell you right now that I love systems and processes. I heard you mention EOS. You know, being in the military, you know, as a Army officer, you know, they teach you those things. Like me, my background was, you know, sleep, you know, KPIs and you know, briefings and, you know, what changed. I understand all that, how that worked, right? So I just implemented that part in my business. But when there's a lot of business owners that are great business owners but can't scale because they caught up in the day-to-day operations. So I want to talk about that. Those of you that's watching it, you may be like, man, how do I get better employees? How do I scale? How do I get to the next level? You know, you feel like you keep on, you know, being dragged down, but you know, you did it, you know what I'm saying? I'm having fun. I did it. I told people, I said, I got my jersey back on right now. It's 2024. D Kane, hey, he's in the game now. I'm back in the trenches. I got my whole team this whole year. I see it. They like shaking their head. They like, man, they like, I get on a call with them. You know what I'm saying? They like, I see some fussing going on in between the group. You know why? Because you got to shake it up sometimes.
Yeah.
And when they see you in the grind and you grinding, I don't want to hear nothing because I'm back in the game.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still focused on growth, culture, but right now I'm building a new franchise that, you know, that I want to be a franchisor. So we just launch and drop Treasure Studios. But let's talk about that. Okay. You went and you went away for like 9 months, right? Mm-hmm. But you was able to do that because obviously you had systems processes going on, right? And you had a team, but you went from working in the business and you was able to go back, take a step back and work on the business. So how's that process and how's that like for everyone that's watching this?
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely people come first, right? Mm-hmm. And processes, like you need those processes, but if you don't have the right people doing those processes or taking care of, you know, what needs to happen in a business, then it doesn't matter what your processes are, right?
Right.
So it's kind of a culture, kind of a people thing, but you have to have the right people in there first. And so when I referenced those two ladies that came into the business and then some of our other managers that were running things while I was gone, that's you know, you just put more stuff on them and they're scared. And you were scared at some point.
Absolutely.
I mean, so investing, you know, investing in, you know, the money side of things.
Absolutely.
Investing in taking away responsibility from yourself and pushing it down to other people. Mm-hmm. You just be, that's laziness, right? Oh, it's not laziness.
Right.
They got to learn to come up to that level and then they got to train somebody else to come to that level, right? And so I mean, there's, you know, lots of examples of like when I'm at a peer group meeting, my team can tell because everybody's getting text. You get a text from John today? You get a text from John today?
Right.
All these different ideas. Like, try this, do this marketing, look into this software, you know?
Absolutely.
So they know when I'm in that mode, or they can probably tell when I'm on a run or when I'm on a bike ride.
Right.
Because I'm going to listen to a podcast or a book. And I have to stop.
Right.
I have to make a note from either myself or text my team like, hey, do this, try this, whatever.
Right. You know? No, man. That's good, man. It's phenomenal. You know, one of the things, you know, I was talking to you, I said, you know, have you in your business, when you don't get into the business, we're going to talk about like family. And I think you asked me saying, you know, one of the questions was, is your business a family business? Do you see your family joining you in your business, right? Mm-hmm. I think every entrepreneur want to pass their business on to their kids. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's part of the reason we work so hard. But it also, as you see, for me, you know, I got kids, right? You know, spread it out, right? I mean, 5, right? 3, all the way up to now, 22 years old. And I was like, hey, man, like, you know, even the oldest one, you know, I put so much in her, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you know, she goes to school, you know, and all that. And even when she was, say, 12, 11, you know what I'm saying? We had to sit her down, you know, drilling like, hey, this is how you do this, make these calls and all those things. So, you know, they go and they're going to take their own path, right? They take their own path. The goal that I think is when those kids grow up, they get to a point in their life and then maybe they'll see and they're like, okay, now you're looking around, they working for someone else's business and things like that. But I think everybody that works would like to pass. But I will tell you this here, as I see as my kids get older, one thing for sure, all right, 2 things for certain, I will not force them, all right? I won't. Sure. I got 5. So I think one other 5, maybe 2 other 5 that's gonna, you know what I'm saying, eventually want to really help and be in the business. But if they don't, you know, that's 100% fine. Mm-hmm. I would not lose sleep over that. You know what I'm saying? I think more that I'm starting to spend more time on is not so much of them being in the business, working in the business, grinding in the business, you know what I'm saying? Like what I did to the oldest ones. So I'm taking a different approach, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. With the younger ones. And I'm more focused on what, you know, you came over my house, you know, a few months ago, we talked about the trust, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's what I'm more concerned about. Yeah. Like, you know, they can go in and drive the business in the ground, or they can drive the business and skyrocket. They say they take it and they go make all this money, the business continue to go. But if you're not educating them on the trust, I think that's
Well,
almost just as more important.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm really, you know what I'm saying, just trying to, teach a little bit of all and not being just being a little less, you know what I mean? If they want to be, a part of it, but do we implement our kids in our business? Absolutely. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We don't, we do things like for my youngest son, his job, is to shred papers. You know what I mean? He's young, he's shredding paper, and I got one that, that scan, we get so much mail come to the house, and he was having to just take, the cam scanner. So those of you looking for a good app to scan things PDF, use cam scanner. And my daughter, she'll sit there, she'll scan all this mail and upload it to the drive. You know what I mean? You got so many businesses, so many different entities coming in. We want to make sure we keep those documents. But we do those type of things. Everybody got a role in the house. Yes, they do. Small roles within the family, right? Not as much that I put on maybe with the older ones. So, but they do have a small role within the business. And and that's how they get rewarded. And that's also how we do tax strategies, what we call income shifting. Income shifting is a powerful tool that you can use. Those of you that may be in business and you're looking to shift income to your kids, you can put them in your payroll to help offset your taxes. But they have to be doing some type of something active in their role, right? So that's one of the practices that we do. And how does that work? If you say making you're a high earner, and you want to lower your income, then you have your kids, which normally saying you put them on your payroll, and instead of that money coming to you, you direct that money to your kids, and they have their own business checking account or their checking account, and that's where their money goes. So now it's time to pay for daycare, time to pay for all those clothes, go see grandma. That's what those the accounts that has come off, right? It's taxed lower, but at a lower rate, which is the lowest rate because obviously they're kids. And then you're still being taxed at a higher rate, but it's one of the things that I love really good in business is the tax piece. I mean, I believe we all pay taxes, and one of the things that's why I buy a large apartment complexes, because it gives me the most depreciation.
Yes.
And and that's what we're doing. But what about you? Are you doing anything? What about yourself, your family, or something that how's that look for John?
Yeah, so we started out doing that. Of course, the kids were licking stamps and folding envelopes and shredding and whatnot, and they work. And you want them to do that. You want them just to work. Forget the money.
Right.
There's money. There's money there. There's generational whatever.
Right.
But you want them to work, and that's really what you want, is the mindset, right? It's like there's the money, that you'll eventually pass down. There's the business. Do you want to be a part of that? Do they want to be a part of that? But it's the mindset. Right. Really, that's the value. In fact, that's even the value for us.
Right. Absolutely.
Right? It's like the mindset. If you lost everything, you could rebuild it because you have that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But so talking about kids and tax strategies, another way you can, because you hear that, pay your kids, right? Pay your kids for work, but you can actually pay them without having them work.
Absolutely.
Right. Yep. You can
distribution.
You can gift them shares of stock.
Yep.
If you have that, or make them a partner or whatnot, they can get a distribution as well. Will help shift some income. However, you still want them to work, because you want to do that. You want to do that Roth, right?
Yeah.
You want to fund a Roth,
right?
And you can't fund a Roth with the distribution income. That it has to be, the earned income.
Have to be earned.
Yeah. So that's one of the sides to that. And then just the communication with your family. And I think the sooner the better. I mean, a 3-year-old's not going to get it, right?
Right.
But my youngest is 13, and we just started having our first family business meetings.
Right.
And what that involves is a little bit of, hey, this is like you're mentioning some families, right?
Yeah.
Generational wealth.
Right.
Families, what that looks like. Because we may not have a ton, but they're going to have some money.
Right.
They're going to have some assets to deal with, whether they're in the business or not.
Right.
Right. Because I'm splitting it up. Fair.
Right.
Right. But do they want to continue on with that business and somebody support that and then have distributions? Do you still want that cash machine, throwing off cash for the family, or do you sell the asset and and so that's I'm not going to control it that much, because if I trust my kids, if they have the mindset, but if they also have more opportunity, I'm starting my kids off now. I'm having my oldest sit in business meetings with me. I'm having him meet. He was at lunch with me,
right,
with a fellow today that ran a public company.
right,
And for him to see that, like, I'm stoked about that.
right, absolutely, absolutely.
And so for a 21-year-old, it's like, oh, that is some access that dad provides.
Yep.
That you see that vision of what can
right.
be, and
that you didn't have.
Oh no, that I didn't have it all. Didn't have
right.
any idea.
Right. Right.
But not only that, just to have that mindset, and then also, I started out on credit cards.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
They're starting out with having to know how to spend money.
Right. Totally
spending money was not my issue. I didn't have any money, so there was nothing to do.
Yeah,
Can I borrow some money?
Yeah, totally different issue.
Right.
Yeah.
And I still after 20, I still have a problem spending money.
Right.
And my people that I hired that have been with me 12, 15 years, they have a problem spending it because we were in that mode.
Right.
And now it's like, okay, we've got to spend the money. We've got to, where we want to go it takes a much different path than what we came here on. Right. So,
right.
And the same for the kids. So giving them that vision of where the business is going, and if they want to be a part of it, but also being a board member.
Right.
Right. And to see, okay, we have this business, we have this one asset, but we're not diversified. We need more of the real estate side.
Right.
We need more of these, life insurance and stock and other things, like not a lot.
Right.
But we need to diversify.
Absolutely.
And it comes down to what the kids are interested in, obviously.
Absolutely.
Right. If they're not interested in real estate, it's like me, man, I'm just not, that's not my thing.
Right.
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 So we either partner with somebody or get into the very hands off, and I give the money to Dearonne and, you take care of it. Right. But that's the thinking. And so actually tomorrow we've had a couple of all day sessions, and for my 13-year-old, it's kind of rough.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But we started off with a family psychologist that came in and spoke
Awesome.
to our kids about personalities and working with each other and the communication in the family.
Oh, awesome.
And then we took another day where I had some videos on generational, families and what that kind of looked like.
Right.
And what you could do with that.
Awesome.
And then then tomorrow it's going to be shorter, but I'm getting into like, hey, this is what a P&L looks like.
Right.
And this is how we compare with our competition in our market,
right.
And in the country,
right.
And what the market potential is. And then also some of the side things that we're working on to
100%.
Potentially work in Hawaii, but not be so limited by our market size.
Absolutely, man. That's great, man. Because people that's currently watching this, you watching this right there, and you're in business and you're working hard, you're grinding. You have to talk about these things at the dinner table. You like John do, like I do. Because you want to protect those assets. You're working hard so you can give your kids and their kids a better life or easier opportunity, right? You don't want to just write them a check. He's saying, I'm just going to stroke him a check. We definitely not doing that, right?
Yeah.
We just going to make life a little easier, right? Easy to go to the bank when you got a huge trust fund behind you. But at the end of the day, you got someone making sure that you continue to push what mommy, daddy, granddad, great-great-granddad speed, left for them. So I think, building it is so phenomenal. One of the things you asked too is you asked build versus buy. What do you prefer? And what do you see yourself doing more in the future?
Yeah.
All right. So for me, I love I love both. I think I look at cash. I look at where the property at. Right now, I'm starting to buy legacy properties. I started out, even in multifamily, I started out, value add, I'm saying, in different areas where I see give me the most bang for my buck. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. Right. And we did phenomenal. We got some great returns, 2 to 3x multiples, 30, 40%, some 50%, I'm saying, and AARs and IRRs and all those things like that. But once you get to a point, right, you start to look at your portfolio. So, all right, look at this portfolio. I got this house, and this property over here, or this apartment over here. What are the trophies? right? Now that's where I'm at in my mindset. Or even right now to this day, I just finished up a property that we own, that we getting ready. We looking at it on the battlefield. When I say battlefield, I'm talking about somewhere in the United States. I'm looking at it.
I know the battlefield.
I'm looking at the battlefield. I'm like, this property right here is not appreciated as fast as my properties in Hawaii. So what I do is I'm doing a 1031. I'm going to reposition. I got to identify the property, that I'll be able to assume it, and I'm taking a $250,000 asset that I own outright to purchase $1 million asset. A lower interest rate is going to get great cash flow, and it sit close to the water, high on hills, trophy properties. That's what I'm doing. So if it sit on the top of the hill, or it sits on the water or near water, that's what I'm changing my portfolio on. That's what I'm doing. On the multifamily side, we looking for those trophy assets now. I'm currently in the position right now where I am dispositioning everything that I have on the East Coast. I got we getting ready to sell. March 25th, we purchased an asset for $3.6 million. About 2.5 years ago, getting ready to sell that property for. I think we're putting a contract for 7.4. That sale closed in March. 2.5 years created almost double in returns off that, right? And then we also have property in Tennessee. Knock on wood, everything good. Just got a call just yesterday that we got a cash offer on that property. Paid 3.4. Cash offer is coming at 7.25. Then we're gonna counter somewhere between 7.4, 7.35. But that property going to close. And then but what I'm doing though, I'm dispositioning properties and going into stronger markets. Where is New York and California going to be? The old New York and California is going to be in the southern, like the Floridas, the Carolinas, and where the market I chose versus going a mile wide. So we're going a mile deep in the DFW area. So we are buying legacy properties now. We're looking at properties that put an offer in for it's a $28 million asset, put in for $25 million. I did $26 million, and I'm waiting to hear back from that. But that's a property that's only 3 years, built in 2022. Is in a growing area. That's a property that we can pass off. Saying it's going to be there. Saying something that I know that I paid $26 million, going to be worth $60-70 million if I keep it long enough. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because we see the
growth is a lot faster.
Yeah, it's growth.
It's a lot better growth.
No, a lot better growth. Especially when you're in the markets where jobs are going. Right. I would say people leaving California, going out to Dallas, and going to the Sun Belt. Right. And what happened is increased rents. And I tell people the difference between multifamily and a house here in Hawaii. Your house is going to praise whatever it is next to your neighbors, saying they're going to look at how many bedrooms, same size, that's both sit on the hill, or whatever the case, they're going to praise hand in hand, right? Same thing where I live in Coralina. However, though, multifamily doesn't work like that. Commercial retail don't work like that.
Right.
The driving factor is one thing only, and that's NOI. What I mean? You take what is that property is making on the net operating income, divide that for the cap rate. And cap rate is determined based off how strong the market is. All right. So a market like DFW, where there's currently right now the cap rate soaring between 5 and 6%. But before the craziness, the market, it was like 4%. It was like I thought it was in Hawaii the cap rate was so low. But you look at other areas in the market, you got cap rates right now somewhere between 6 to 8%. So I'm 9%. But that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at trophy assets in great markets. I leave out Monday, going to Dubai, buying my first international property. You know what I'm saying? So I've been researching, Dubai thing for about 12 months now. Me and my wife, we was able to take our kids out to school too, and we went from 2 months we was gone. We actually were gone for 3 months, but tour went 9 countries, 28 cities. We didn't go to Dubai at that time, but we went with our friends. At the end of every conference, I take my conference team, take them on a nice vacation. Went to Bali, and then from Bali, we went up to Dubai, and everybody loved it. We loved it. My wife loved it, and then we came back home. We did all this traveling with the kids, and once laying down, I was like, all right. We I was in the middle of getting ready to purchase this house in Greece. It was beautiful, man. I'm talking about unbelievable view. Water is it was amazing, great price, whole 9 yards. And I was standing and laying in the bed, me and Pam was talking and say, hey, if we're gonna buy our first international property, tell me where should it be? I had my answer, she had her answer. So you go first. You go first. So she said Dubai. I said, oh wow, me too, Dubai, right? And because we went there, because I think there's a lot of stuff that people think that they say on social media is really not true. Like, you can't kiss, you can't do none of that. It's not that at all. Like, you can't be making out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Can you hold your hand, your wife, y'all walking into Dubai Mall? Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody was there holding hands, taking pictures, whole 9 yards, right? Yeah. But those are things people say to scare people, but really that's that market is booming. Yeah. So again, we say, D, where are you investing in? I'm going emerging markets. You know what I mean? I'm diversifying the portfolio. And I think, slowing down my things that I'm buying here in Hawaii, because I think I just want to diversify a little bit more. I was buying, a couple of properties, and I really focus on one niche, and that's, Coralina, it's a resort. Yeah. Live there. I love it there. You know what I mean? And everything else I do in the mainland, like in growing markets like, Dallas, DFW. And right now we're doing the international play in Dubai. Awesome. A lot of tax. Like, they got just so much stuff going on, man. It's crazy. You should definitely look into it. 30% returns.
How do you buy that? Is that a mortgage company in Dubai?
Yeah.
Or
so great question, man. That's great, actually. So the way this work is we have a realtor, a broker. Her name Denise, and actually she's going to be at the conference. She specializes in international property. She's coming to speak. Man, she is killing it out there. She's doing some amazing things. I'm super proud of her on her accomplishments to see what have she been able to do, cultivate out there to get people coming in. So she like that liaison, man. Like, yo, the door is open, D. You need to get out here. And I didn't know her, whatsoever. I was talking about Dubai, and somebody, pointed me in her direction. And over the past few months, of me, talking to her, the past 12 months of me researching and YouTube and watching all that, and this is how it goes down. So there's tons of crazy developments that's going on. I'm talking about, like, there's no property in Hawaii that you can compare to it. Dubai properties crush it in amenities. I'm talking about, they build buildings that name them out the Mercedes-Benz and Lamborghinis and Jacobs and Coles, and they doing man-made like it's crazy what they're doing for these high amenities and stuff like that. It's like luxury on top of luxury, but at a affordable price, right? Because
it's supplemented.
Yeah, supplemented.
Somewhat.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what you do is, like, when I go out on, I leave my name. We get there Wednesday, Thursday. We tour properties, and what they do is depend on the builder. The builder in the project will determine how fast it go. These buildings come up, they may last 10 hours, 5 hours. Wow. I'm talking about buildings. You know what I mean? 200, 300, 400 units gone, 500, 800 gone, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, or whatever the case may be. But they don't last. But then you have new developers. Their projects may take a time because they not really, they may, just like anything. Do you take risks with someone new that's coming out there and say they're building, or do you go with the people that's out there really building the Jamera Group and all those right there. So the way that work is you go out and you find a property, identify the property you want, and you put, normally they call it a 60-30 rule. You put 24% down. Of that 24% down, 4% pays for your property tax. Okay. No more property taxes ever. Oh, wow. Pay it one time, right out 24%. And then what they do is they do capital calls, once, twice a year, through the project development. You'll end up putting down like 60% over the course of, say, 4 years, because normally they'll announce announce the property, and then you end up financing the other 30%. You know what I mean? Which, you think about what they're doing is they're attracting so many investors because the returns are great. During that process of 4 years, you can sell anytime, 2 years, 3 years. You're looking at getting somewhere between 25-30% on your money right there, just holding it. And when the doors open, now you're somewhere between 40-60. You know what I mean? Maybe 80%. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Once the doors open, because the demand, the property, it's there. So many investors. 95% of people live in Dubai. It's not from Dubai. You know what I mean? Yeah. They all over the globe, and there's huge tax benefits. There's, if you go look at things like the golden visa, where you get this golden visa, you know what I'm saying? The only thing you have to do is invest like $500,000. They just changed the law on that this year. Now it's $250,000. That's USD. All right, you put 250,000 USD, you get the golden visa, get all these perks and all these things. But a lot of people are moving there because of taxes. There's, I think the Middle East is to the point like, hey, we have to shift for oil, and we want to attract more innovative thinkers and things like that. So they make it very enticing it so that, these companies, these tech companies, you go out there, you see the Apples and Microsoft, they're already out there, you know what I'm saying? But they open these businesses out there and they're paying 0% taxes, and they are changing the corporate tax. That changed too this year. It was 9%, but it's still lower than anything else. You know what I mean? So, you get those benefits to attract those type of people. I'm doing it for two things: to diversify the portfolio. But my main reason I'm actually doing it is going out there to network. You know what I mean? They do some of the biggest conferences. We're not talking about, the millionaire, conference and this. We talking about guys coming and got, say, small family office. And when we say small family office, those big old office, you know what I mean? Like got a lot of money that, can stroke checks. So I'm going out there. I'm going to plan on, Denise sent me over some clubs, some private clubs to join. I'm looking at Dubai Capital Group is one where that, me and my family are going to go out again. Going to take the family out for 2 months and all that for Christmas, and just going out there and network. They do some of the largest conferences out there, Bitcoin. They do all, man, real estate. I had one of my buddies, man, that went to one of their conference. It was like, man, this guy is crazy. You know what I mean? Like there's tons of hotels. Like, we own $10 billion worth of hotels. We own 20 billion. We over here like trying to get to 1 billion, whatever. So
real estate's not the play. Dubai's the play. The visa, the network, the what? Because 60% down on a property is a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah. That's a lot of cash.
Yep.
But
the play
with these other ancillary things, then that totally makes sense.
Yeah. The play is definitely not, like you said, you put in, the average. I said, Denise, like if someone we want to bring, and I'm not. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing 12 people with me. That friends, a lot of them have invested. All of them have invested in my multifamily stuff, and and they come out to the conference. What I'm saying, like, hey, this is the play. This is what people doing. Say, D, what's the cost? I'm like, Denise, what it costs? She said, hey, my people come out here. They about 300,000 is what they spend. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for something. I got a little more kids, a little bit more. I'm trying to probably be a little bit more. But the play is definitely, it goes back to your assets and what you have. You know what I mean? Like you got cash, you gonna let that cash sit, or you're gonna put it in here and get a return, and whatever the case may be. But the ultimate goal is the networking. 100%.
Wow.
I want to network. I'm going out there and network. That's my thing. I'm trying to spend a couple months a year. You know what I'm saying, there to find just the network. Awesome. I'm looking into God bless me, man. Like we raised last 3 deals. We're looking at almost 2 deals, almost $10 million. You know what I'm saying? We was able to raise, but you over there you can get a check. Just one person.
One check.
You know what I mean, for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what's our goal.
And they're looking to diversify too, which
100%.
is you're providing. So
right.
That
and,
totally makes sense.
And remember now, the people that's giving you the money, they're they all over. These people are from all over Switzerland, London, UK, and Amsterdam, and Netherlands, and Africa, and you know what I'm saying. So emerging markets is is what I'm trying to do too as well. Yeah.
So interesting. So the tax play is for companies, and personally, you're still paying American taxes.
Still paying American taxes
over there.
Yeah, and it's not even for that. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to not pay. Going to set this, I ain't pay no tax because I don't have a tax problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got so much depreciation, and if I continue to grow business, I tell people that I don't force to build businesses. All right, what happened to a guy like me that's have a successful business, and I'm not, and I don't have real estate, right? Let's take real estate off the plate right now. I got a successful business. I'm growing. My business growing, like you always say, it's growing 20% a year. And but that business only cost me, say, $700,000 because I got $300,000, $400,000 for the landlord. So really, I got $700,000 to depreciate. But what happened when you're making $200,000, $250,000, $300,000? How long is that gonna last before I owe the IRS? Right. Even if I'm taking bonus depreciation, within 3-4 years, I'm gonna start paying someone. So my mindset is to automatic. Do I get that to the IRS, or do I go reinvest the money into the business. What I do is I go
Right.
do it again,
Yep.
create more jobs, create another asset. But what I was doing was the whole entire time, I didn't even know I was doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally buying these income producing assets, and I was doing real estate at the same time. And then once I got into the tax piece, I understand that, oh man, I can depreciate, I can do cost segregation, I can do all those things. You know what I mean? To so for someone like me that's buying large assets that also have successful businesses, generating cash flow, and I'm a very frugal person. Me and my wife, very very frugal. We probably live off a fraction of what we make. It's small, very small of what we live off. And my wife, our goal is I like to give her what she wants. Like as far as traveling and food, that would make that's all I got to do. It's not the bling bling. It's none of that the craziness. I don't got no Ferraris. I want to get one day, but I don't got one right now. I don't care about that right now. Right? It means absolute nothing. And when I do buy, it will be an asset that's going to pay for it and all that. I'm not going to go write a check for $400. I'm going to go write a check for maybe one of my own deals or asset, and it's going to pay for the Ferrari. And it's just no brainer. But yeah, that's what I do. Is definitely, I don't have a tax problem whatsoever. Have so much depreciation. I keep on carrying it forward and offset and keep on buying bigger assets and just keep on keeping on. But I'm going to try it out though. I'm going to have that property. I think I'm out. I haven't decided, but it'd be cool to say, and I'm talking to my, Charles. I was telling Charles, we got the same CPA.
Right.
So I'm like, Charles, so do I, put the property there and, Vadi, so Vadi, not Vadi, so Vadi partner, the owner or part CEO of, I think EC. I think Julian told me his sister or something actually lived there. So so Charles supposed to be we're looking into it and see how it's there. You still have to report it, what I mean. But
sure,
it'd be cool to learn that and just having something in emerging market. Again, diversify those portfolio. Absolutely. So another thing you asked said, what are you trying to do? Do you have an end game?
Yeah.
Do I have an end game? I think, like I always tell people, there's so many different sources of income, and I was like, man, I'm good. I think I have reached, financial success. I can, just really just walk away and just manage the assets that I currently got, and I will be okay. And you get to a point where you have to have someone. Me personally, you have that. I got 70 streams of income. Someone got to watch those streams of income, right? Yeah. I would love to just sit back and do that. I don't have time. Got someone else that's doing it, but I would like to do it. But
you're so deep in the game.
Yeah, I'm deep in the game.
Can you even get out? Like,
I
you're
love
not ever going to retire.
I think this is one thing that someone told me that kind of hit me. I'll get into the royalties game because that's my next game, right? Get into the royalties. That's why we created the franchise. But as far as getting out the game, I don't think I think it's gonna come to a point, and I know in my head that's why I'm grinding because everything that I ever wanted, I got to it. The only thing I wanted when I retired was retire from the military with $1 million. Right? We was able to destroy that at 28.
I've been there.
Yeah. All right, Billy, check.
You think through it.
You know what I'm saying? So now, I think someone it's going to come to a point, and I think my point is going to be in 8 to 10 years. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to look at the portfolio, all right, and that's what we're doing now. We got some assets on the that are super active, which I take literally 1 hour here meeting, 1 hour there, all right.
Yeah.
So we looking
as you should.
Yeah, that's what we should, right? So I'm looking at these assets and I'm putting timelines on these assets to disposition, all right. So that is the end game on that. But when you look at your portfolio, I'm looking at where's the time value, right? So I don't think I have assets and I have things that apartment buildings that I can play very, very small roles. If I want to take a meeting one time a month, I love to, getting on the call, working with a broker, doing a deal, and then just, all right, my day is done. I mean, I got this deal, pass it off to our property management team or whatever the case may be. And, I got equity in this deal. I think I'll always do that. 100%. But I think that things will slow down for me, but not just yet. I think this year will be the most intense because I'm making it big. I'm making a statement,
Mm-hmm.
and not making a statement to someone else. I'm making a statement to myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask myself, like, how much can you do if you wasn't in the military? You know how many years many years I woke up where I was deployed or whatever, and I'm like, man, if I wasn't in the military, I'd be able to do this. I want in the military, I'm doing that. So I got in the military. I took my kids, we went away 3 months, spent a month in North Carolina, 2 months overseas, and then I relaxed. We did a great Christmas. I sat down, I told my kids, I said, I got to do something that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy gonna be busy. You know what I mean? I want to do it for 12 months. I just want to see what can I do. Yeah. And that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
awesome.
So yeah, that's
awesome. I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah. What about you? I would love to know your end game. Like, how do you have an end game? And
I don't have anything specific. We talk about, and I work with my wife.
Right.
And what she wants is important. What she wants now is just like, don't ever sell the business. Have the kids take it over.
Right.
But we could die, and the kid could just, hey, let's sell the business.
Right.
You know. Right. So, I don't think we can know. Right. It's like, because at one point you wanted $1 million in the bank, right?
Yep.
I was thinking, if this is like 15 years ago, I was like, man, if I owned my house in Hawaii, and I maybe owned another house, renting that out, and if I had like $5 million in the bank, I could do 4% a year, $200,000. That's a lot of money.
Right. Right.
That's not a lot of money in Hawaii.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And
right.
and right now it's like, I mean, it's kind of laughable but then you see like what can be done.
Right.
And it's a number, maybe for you it's $1 billion, right?
It is.
But when you get to $1 billion, it's gonna be $10 billion.
You know it. You too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I can see, okay, this is what it looks like in 10 years. I can do this with this business,
mm-hmm.
right? But that's on cruise control. You
right.
know, is that challenging me? No.
Right.
So what should I do to supplement that, to keep myself busy, but also to just keep it fresh?
Right.
And so, part of that is outside of business. Like I'm doing more, humanitarian work, or I'm just started pilot training. Right. And so, and that pilot training is really interesting because
man, it's intense.
I
love it.
I'm a big picture guy. I'm not a details. I'm not a checklist. I wasn't in the military.
Right.
And so having to do that now is, it's hard.
Right.
But it's a challenge,
right.
and it's something
Push
that
yourself.
like I can do that.
Right. You can do
but
it.
It takes
right.
getting very uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah. You get uncomfortable. You force yourself to be more detailed, routine, checkpoint.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Really getting yourself uncomfortable. And that's how.
But that's how you grow, and that's how
Yeah.
I'm going to get better at things outside of that.
Right.
In my business, because I'm choosing to do this hard thing over here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. No, that's good. And before we wrap this up, man, it's been great. I know we can continue to go. And one of the things, you said politics, talk about politics. And
we can talk about whatever.
Hey, let's go, right? Politics, like what do you see? Do you see yourself? No, John, Speed, you know what I mean? You're on cruise control. It seems like you the guy that read on the 4-hour work week too, huh? You have, right?
So, for sure.
Yeah, so
that spoke to me.
Yeah, that spoke to you, right?
Yeah.
How you as far as politics, have you ever, there's something that you want to be like, politician, or what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's like real estate. That's like not my, wheelhouse.
Right.
However, I was at the Capitol this morning, and I had a hearing for, I'm on a state board, right? Okay. And so I was nominated, and I, sat through this. And last time it was on Zoom. And awesome. So this time I'm like sitting before the senators and asking questions.
Right. That's awesome.
And so, but the behind the scenes and the ideas behind,
right.
Totally fascinating to me. And awesome. Because Hawaii's so small,
right.
It's so accessible.
Right.
And there's so many problems that,
right.
that urgently need help,
right.
And so we all have to pull together on
absolutely.
That stuff. Whatever space we can do that in,
right.
And certainly it is politics, and bless the people that are in politics.
Absolutely.
Because it's thankless.
Right. And you're
it's
talking
so
about,
difficult.
It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the things, at the conference, having those relationships, I've been blessed, here in Hawaii. I have a lot of people say, D, how you know this person? Like, you only been here you seem like you got all the right people, but us being able to have, even with me, I'm trying to work and do things with, local politicians here. And, we actually had the mayor, of Honolulu. He's going to be at, at the conference. And one of the things I told his wife and my mentor, Steve Kane, I said, I think it'd be great, talk about how does that work with business owners working with, like, how does that work with politicians, and how do we create jobs together, and how does that partnership, because there is a partnership between, the people that's in, that's sitting in these, the politicians and then the business owners, how do they come together, work together? We know that Hawaii is a big problem, it's, waiting on permits and things like that. And, so, politician, and, that's not me. But I will tell you, I was on the phone this morning, and I was talking like I told you, I was talking to Courtney that is in Nevada that is not doing our trust. And, so Nevada have a trust it's good for 365 years. It's called a Dynasty Trust. And just me in my head, I was like, again, I'm not working. I'm like, I got this 365, but I want to stay and to continue to go. I want to run. She said, well, you can go to South Dakota. I said, okay, cool. I want you read about these guys like Rockefellers, right? Yeah. They built this empire that's going on, continue to go on. I said, I want something similar to that. So one of the things that I did, though, that I think was pretty cool, I was talking to her, I said, I would love to see, one of my descendants or one of our kids, whatever the case may be, grandkids, great, be able to be, maybe a politician, maybe running for a Senate, White House, or whatever. She said, yeah, it's cool. So what do you think? I said, let's put something in the trust and the provisions that states that. So we, and I know we talked about it before, but it came up again this morning. And so that's what we're doing. What I mean? Say, if you weren't, you run for mayor, you get X amount. You run for this, you get X amount. But setting up that whole irrevocable trust has been very, very fascinating. I think I like me going through that process. It's very expensive. There's a lot of things, a lot of moving parts and all that. But that's something that I'm trying to crank out and have at least done by the conference. So we can break that down. Yeah. How I started off revocable and then I went irrevocable. Yeah. Why I was able to do that. Why I was able to do the insurance piece, and it's so much things that we talk and teach people at the Hawaii Millionaire Mindset that I'm really just I'm right in there. I'm just having fun right now. Yeah. I'm like really started chapter 2. I mean, even though me and Pam we retired from active duty military, and God bless us. We got a great pension, and we got great family, like you said. We got friends, and we have our foundation that we able to give back. We do a lot of giving.
That gave you this,
yes,
though, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
With the military and the COs that you had,
right?
And come on, that's awesome.
Yeah. So no, that's been great, man. So we're gonna wrap it up, but if you were to something that you can give them, something that you can recommend, anything, book, it doesn't matter. What's one thing that you will recommend right now today for someone that's an entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, or currently in the business, maybe they working in the business and trying to figure out how to get out? Is there anything that you want to end today with, with this great conversation?
Oh man, there's so many good books out there. Alex Hormozi has some great ones with the deals and $1 million deals,
right?
Just for getting started, and but entrepreneurially, if you've had a business, you haven't looked into EOS, the book Traction, that's like a no-brainer,
right?
That's the one. And then for me, if I've said this before, but if you were to tell me, like, when I started that I would be so into HR and the people side and the culture side, like you don't get it. You don't get it. Right. But it's so important. And you say, okay, we're a $10 million company, but what does that mean to be a $25 million company? Right. Or $50 million company? Yeah. Like, you got to put those things in place.
Absolutely.
So EOS helps with that. The HR aspect helps with that. And then the process side. you have to have those processes in place for $50 million company, right?
Right.
And so, like, I'm reading a book right now, the Checklist Manifesto, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just like, and it's helping with the pilot stuff,
Mm-hmm.
the military side, and understanding why those things work,
Right.
and it's not, it's just getting rid of the dumb stuff in that you should already know, but it's a reminder, right? And we all need reminders, because like right now, with the smartphones, we have the brain's less than a goldfish, right? We don't remember anything.
Yeah.
So going through those checks, how about boring is that?
All right.
A checklist, but if you're taking things to the next level,
right,
you have to have those processes.
100%. No, man, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. I appreciate you coming out, man, taking time on this Friday here in the great state of Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I don't know if y'all caught it, man. John, he's about to buy a plane. That's what I heard. That's the only thing I got on this whole conversation. He's getting ready to take his test, and he's about to go buy a plane, and he's going to be traveling all around. Going to see on Instagram. He's going to jump in islands, man. But that's why we work hard, man. That's great, man. I'm proud of you. And just keep on doing. You're a great guy. I just love your energy, man. Thank you for joining. Hey, listen, appreciate it. Hey, stay tuned. Hey, we're gonna continue to give these nuggets. And I want to see everyone here. If you're in Hawaii or you watching this in the mainland and you want to invest and take your business to the next level, let's connect. Go to DearonneBethea.com at the same time, which is subscribe, turn on the notifications as we continue to teach you how to build and grow your business to the next level. And one day that the goal is to pass those assets down to your kids and their kids for many years to come. And we just telling you what we're doing so that you can avoid making some of those wrong mistakes that we made. But I want to thank you, everybody, for listening. Again, July 10th through the 13th, Hawaii Millionaire Mindset. John, he's going to be there.
I'll be there.
He'll be there. He'll be speaking. You'll be able to ask him. He's we're doing a great business panel. He'll be a part of that. So until next time, thank you for joining us. Continue. And